welcome to the winter solstice, the shortest day in the southern hemisphere and the longest night. My name's Judy Toms and I'm the chair of the Australian Standing Stones Management Board here in Glen Innes that tries to keep the integrity of the site, the protocols operating as they should do, and we're a community committee of our local Glen Innes 7 Council. So thank you all for coming today. I'd also like to acknowledge our Mayor, Councillor Steve Toms, General Manager Hein Basson, and we've got Councillor Colin Price here as well. And I would also like to acknowledge Garrick Fish as Chair of the Caledonian Society, who certainly work very closely with us and help support us in lots of our functions also. And would also like to actually mention Peter Bruce, who co-designer of our beautiful district registered Glen Innes Carlton. So lovely to have you here with us too, and welcome everybody. As I said, the winter solstice is our shortest day of the year, and this project was a project of the board last year to acknowledge the shadow length and the importance of stone circles in Celtic history and Celtic culture, and a working calendar for the ancient Celts. We unveiled this project on the summer solstice last year on the 21st of December, which is the plaque closest to this particular stone. So this is our first winter solstice with having this particular project in the ground. I know I, for one, certainly like being here at this time of the day rather than at dawn this morning when the sun rises. But the array itself was particularly, has been specifically surveyed, but the little avenue of stones, if you stand at the central stone, the Australis stone is the centre of the three central stones, and it's the stone that connects Brythonic and Gaelic Celts with our Australian heritage and the part that they played in the development of our culture here. And if you stand there at dawn, as the sun rises on the eastern horizon, as the sun's first rays of the day hit the face of that stone, it acknowledges all of the Celts, ancient Celts, and how they used the circles as well. I'm going to introduce our Mayor, as I said, Councillor Steve Toms, who has the role by way of office as Chief Guardian of the Australian Standing Stones. There is a group of people that are called Guardians, and I know we have some of the Guardians here with us today as well, that again ensure that what happens here is appropriate and in line with keeping integrity and authenticity on the site. So our Mayor, Councillor Steve Toms.
Thank you, Judy, and thank you, Russell. Oh, there he is, Russell. Thank you, Russell, and the pod band for the support that you give so many of our functions. We stand here with great anticipation on this beautiful sunny day, watching this shadow move, because you can, if you sit there watching it for not very long, you can actually see it move, and it always raises the question in our people-centric minds. It's got to be the sun that's moving, not the earth. But whether it's the sun or the earth doesn't really matter, because something is moving, and that shadow is moving, which does reflect the position of the sun. So today, the plaques that we have here, they're in a line, and that line marks solar noon. And solar noon happens when the sun is completely overhead in the sky at its most overhead point during the day. And so that point is, that line is basically the same all through the year. It's not necessarily, we're always taught that if we're going to navigate by our watch using the compass, that solar noon occurs at midday. Now whether that happens or not depends on how well midday lines up, how well your location lines up with the time zone. And in our case, our time zone for Eastern Australia is based on 150 degrees of longitude. We're about a degree off that. So for us, solar noon doesn't happen at midday, it happens a little bit off it, and today it'll be around 11:55. So I will, in the next 10 minutes, as we observe that shadow, and the shadow lines up with the triangle marker, it will be around 11:55. So we're actually looking at a clock here, and the minute hand is gradually ticking away on this solar clock. So at about 11:55 in the northern hemisphere, in the North Pacific Ocean, in a lonely part of the North Pacific Ocean, about southeast of Japan, the sun will be exactly overhead. So the sun that we'll observe, because that point lines up with around the 151 degrees that is the same longitude as ourselves, and it's a point on the Tropic of Cancer, which is the tropics basically form the most northerly point of where the sun will shine from in the northern hemisphere during our winter. And of course in the northern hemisphere it will be high summer. And so you observe a very long sun angle here today as the winter sun is at its most overhead point. And so if we go from the Tropic of Cancer, which is 23.5 degrees, down to the equator, down to us, which we're roughly about 30 degrees south, that's basically about 53 or so degrees. And so if you take that away from 90 degrees, you get quite a low sun angle, and that's why our winters get cooler, because the sun angles are much lower, and also of course the day length is much shorter, and so and hence that brings us our coolness. And all of this comes about is because the Earth is tilted at 23.5 degrees, and as it does its annual orbit around the sun, that tilt provides that sun shining from everywhere between the two tropics. So that's the science lesson for today. But in terms of the markers here, so even though this is a straight line, it basically does map the Earth doing its orbit around the sun. And just to clarify for anybody that's not familiar with it, we have this lovely beautiful marker in this stone, and there's a perpendicular point from the tip of that stone down to here. And then each month of the year is marked with one of these triangles. And so in summer, in high summer, the highest the sun angle gets is at the tip of this triangle, which is not directly overhead. The sun never gets directly overhead here because it's shining from the Tropic of Capricorn, which is 23.5 degrees. We're about 30 degrees, so it's got about a 7-degree angle as the most overhead. If you're in the northern hemisphere, say above the Arctic Circle, then your summer sun is going to be shining from a very low angle, and so even though there might be 24 hours of sunlight, the sun angle is quite low, so it's not intense like we experience in the middle of summer. It's not the same level of intensity because it's not quite as vertical. So on the 21st of December is the summer solstice, which is marked by that arrow. And then each month is marked, so 21st of January, 21st of February, 21st of March, which is the autumn equinox, when the day lengths are approximately equal, and it goes all the way through up to the 21st of June, and then it comes back at about the same points. So we get back to the 21st of July, 21st of August, and so forth. So even though that's a line, it's actually marking a big orbit of the Earth around the sun, or if you'd like to, some people might still like to prefer that it's the sun going around the Earth. Either way, the impact is very similar.
So this is the Earth plate.
So with that, I would like to thank you for being here, and I think you've probably heard enough from me, and I think we can just quietly observe now as we're so fortunate to have the sun out today and with no cloud, and just see how well this lines up on this wonderful winter morning for the winter solstice. I'm happy. Any questions or comments anybody wants to make, I'm certainly happy to try and help with that.
I'm just pleased to see that it works.
So the stones have been here now for more than 25 years, and Peter Breeze has very much been part of that whole process. And one of the things that in the layout of the stones it does is try to point out the cardinal points of the compass, but also to be able to acknowledge the sunrise, winter solstice sunrise sunsets as they occur, obviously morning and night. And this little project builds on that by looking at the sun during solar noon. So it just complements what these stones has already been about and trying to achieve. So, yeah.
Do you know of any other similar
I don't.
scheme anywhere in the world?
I don't. I'm claiming this is unique.
Yes, but I think it's unique. So,
Yeah, absolutely.
too unique.
I mean, there are
Until proven otherwise.
there are sundials around the world, but I don't know of anything like this anywhere that I have been. So until somebody can prove otherwise, we'll claim it unique for Glen Innes and the standing stones.
Thank you very much, Stu.
Thank you.
Thank you for that. And I think it's amazing. This slab is just over 4 metres long, and to see a physical representation of just the changing of the lengths from summer to winter over that 6-month period is quite amazing. And John, I would also like to acknowledge you today as for the work that you've also put into here. And John is the author of the history of the Standing Stones book, which is for sale up at Crofters, but certainly with a lot of that prior information about the project of the stones itself. John, the author of that, with lots of support from the committee at the time, so thank you too. So yeah, we'll enjoy seeing if it all lines up properly, and thank you again very much for coming. And I know if you do want to enjoy a cuppa or lunch or something after this, certainly feel free. It will be available at Crofters as always. So thank you again for coming. Thank you.
Another 3 minutes to go.
Waiting for a kettle to boil.
About 2 minutes to go. Russell. I think you're early.
What do you make it?
My watch there, sorry, my phone says 11:54. Yeah.
That might be the elevation effect.
So this is the first time in history the sun and that top plaque have aligned. So we're
There you go, George. Part of history. Yes.
You're filling in for Steve, is that right?
Yes, that's right.
Yes.